Hello there, welcome to this video, which is a tactics video. So we're going to be looking at a battle report conducted by Mountain Miniatures, who's a chap called Steve, who's got a wonderful YouTube channel where he does battle reports, and he seems to be really getting into the old world. He's up against this other player who he's said the name of about 20 times, and I've forgotten already because I'm not very good at remembering names in general. So this is the deployment. So we've got a really interesting Demons of Slaanesh list. So you got some Fiends over there, you got some Seekers here, a little block of 15 Demonettes here, Keeper of Secrets here, and then this is, I think it's like 8, 9, Jesus, what's that, 4, 8, so it's 8 times 9, 74 Demonettes. In there is also a Herald with a banner and some musk and stuff, so that unit's actually got quite a few interesting debuffs. This is Steve's list here, some Beastmen, there's a chariot over there, some chariots here, Bestigal with double hand weapons. This is a unit of Gore. I think they've got 2 hand weapons. There's some Ungor there. There's a giant. There's a Gargant. There's a giant there, and hiding here are some Minotaurs. So what you'd do if this were me is I'd firstly move the Fiends forwards here, and probably the Keeper slightly behind to try and pull all this over there. The Fiends are a lot faster than the Minotaurs and the chariot anyway. So essentially the Fiends can pull them there and then essentially kite them around a bit. And the Keeper's fast enough to nip around here and then hit them in the back, or at least cause them to have to manoeuvre and whatever. This unit he casts Steed of Shadows on and then zips it over here to cause problems, which is fine. But then what he doesn't do, you'll see in a second, is that I think he makes a bit of a mistake with these. These he plays really well, and he kind of kites around these 2 chariots and just causes a bit of a pain in the backside with them. So that's interesting. This is what he decides to do. Let's see if we can get a better view of the whole. There we go. That's a better view of the whole table. So what he's done is he's moved everything an inch away from the opponent to essentially blunt their initiative bonuses. So he gets the Slaanesh player gets to essentially strike first, because even with charging, the initiative bonuses, So this is where, so essentially first turn Demon player didn't really move anything at all, moved the Keeper forwards. Then as I said, all of this stuff, look, there's 10 Bestigal over there as well. So all this stuff started to kind of move towards the Keeper, including the giant. And again, you could quite easily just kite all that around here. So essentially a lot of this army would be wasted in the initial stages. These are going to be here causing a problem. He got a 24-inch move, so I'm surprised, given that they're there, that he didn't like... I don't know, maybe I don't know why he's gone there. He's got the Juan Diaz Demonettes as well, which is, they're so cool models. Like, I used to have loads of them, probably about as many as he does, and like I'd got rid of them. They're so expensive nowadays. Like, if I'd have kept all my Juan Diaz Demonettes, it'd have been worth like 1,200 quid. Ridiculous. Anyway, so this is what then happens, because then he decides to like I said, move everything about an inch away, which over here is fine, I guess. Like, the Fiends should deal with these pretty quickly. The Keeper should just smash the chariot. The Keeper's also got Spectral Doppelganger, so it does 2d6 hits at essentially strength 6 in combat, which he seems to no, he doesn't cast it, he doesn't forget it, he just doesn't get lucky with his casting rolls. So the Gargant has then moved around a bit. By moving this massive block and not just moving it forwards to here and expanding ranks, what he's then done is he's given this unit the opportunity to flank, which is taken off his rank bonus of 3, which actually looking at the game and how it panned out would have made a massive difference. He also didn't charge into the... So he although this is like the main combat in the centre of the field, he's kind of reliant on this unit just managing to bat off all of these. And in theory, that's fine, apart from the fact that in here is a war gore, in here is another hero gore that I forget is the name. So there's the Lord level gore, there's the one down from that, there's a beastie wizard in there with some pretty cool spells. So this unit is a lot better than you think it is. Or is a lot better than it looks because of all the buffs and everything. What Steve forgets is that the 1 inch rule, so you've got to be at least an inch away. So when he charges in here, he says, I don't have any initiative bonus because I didn't get to charge a full inch. And it's like, well, you should have done because you should have been an inch away. There's a bit of like faffing around with the rules, but this is this guy's first game of the old world, so I think Steve's being nice and being like quite forgiving in terms of remembering stuff, because he's kind of having to remember 2 sets of rules at the same time, which is a bit challenging. It's very tiring actually, having to do that. So yeah, the battle, you know, kind of goes on, progresses. These take ages to deal with that. I don't know whether I've said already, but he does deal with the Seekers like really well later on, because he kind of manages the chariots really well too. Oh, I hate buffering.
You see, I lost combat by a bunch. I'm leadership 7 because my champion's dead.
Sure.
I'm actually leadership 6 because you caused terror.
Okay.
So I'm gonna fall back in good order. Oh, but you don't know me, so I automatically flee.
Yeah.
All right, so here I'll do my 1 attack into that.
Get out of here.
Oh, Primal Fury.
Yeah. Oh wait.
1 attack.
Fear test.
I missed anyway. Don't matter. Don't worry about it. I am gonna flee. Would you like to chase me?
So that's a good example of like why I typically tell people, if you forget something, just remember it next time. Don't try and wind back time and, you know, fix things, unless it's like super critical. But like, you know, it just gets confusing. A Beastman, you know, because a lot actually happened in that very short sentence. Basically what he's done is he's then tried to do the combat resolution roll before he's bothered to attack. But when he has to attack, he then has to take a fear check to see if he's, you know, -1 to hit or not. And then he's also got to take his pardon me. Sorry, it's quite late. Then he's also got to take his Primal Fury test to see whether he can reroll ones to hit with 1 attack on a Bestigor. So, like, you know, whatever. Yeah, that breaks, and he doesn't catch it because what he does is very sensible. He overruns with the Fiends and goes into the chariot.
I'll be going this way.
Here. I'm not sure what the arc is. I think that's a flank charge with them. The problem... So I think you'll see in a... Yeah, here we go. That's perfect. So I reckon that was into the flank. So actually what needed to happen is this unit here needed to go right up to the Seeker's base and then align that way. So it should sort of be like that instead, into the flank. Because, you know, that's it. It looked like it was in the flank arc, and he didn't get his little measurement tool out just to check. So anyway, this combat proceeds as you'd imagine. There is the banner does reduce a characteristic by D3, and one of them's weapon skill. So he keeps trying to reduce their weapon skill, because if he rolls like the big 3, then they're now down to weapon skill 1, so they're hitting on 5. So it's a really good artifact. He just never rolls. He rolls a 1 mostly for it, so which doesn't really have much of an impact. So he starts to burn these down. He's starting to burn those down, but again, they shouldn't be in the flank. And that's exactly why he probably needed to charge the Seekers into their rear when he could, because these would have definitely broken by now. And then he could have run them down with the Seeker, probably in this direction. Then this unit of Seekers would have got smashed by the chariots, but they're worth the Bestigors, largely because when the Bestigors break, this unit gets their ranks back, and actually the combats are quite close. But that's another reason why you should have a much wider frontage, because then you get way more supporting attacks to have a go at these. And, you know, remember, a full rank is only 5 and he's only allowed 2. So he's got all of these models here that could be deployed doing something that aren't. They're just kind of sat there as like a wound bank. It's not a very efficient formation. Arguably a massive doom stack of like infantry like that is just not a good idea in general. I can see what he's trying to do, but if he's doing that, they do need to be in like a really big phalanx, like across the middle of the table, so they have to get charged in the front, really. So at some stage the Minotaurs managed to get into the flank, which means he's still not getting rank bonuses. There's a challenge. There's a few actually. The champion dies, and then the herald dies, and then that unit basically gets obliterated. This is him trying to measure out and saying they're in the rear arc. I mean, when he puts he's got this little tool.
Well, yeah.
So hold on, this is interesting. I'm going to show you off camera. You know you're my rear arc.
I mean, that like points. I'm not sure. That looks like it should be side arc, to be honest. And it's, you know, you end up going into the arc that you're in, so it's not.
You're just gonna wheel to there.
Sure.
Now you're in my arc. You hit, and then you.
Now I'm not sure that's. Is that right? Oh God, there's going to be so many references to charge. Don't do a search when it's quite common. It's in movement, isn't it? The charge move. So the charge move, maneuvering, aligning. What's the charge? Yeah. I mean, have they changed the rules? Because I thought it was always like which arc you were in. So, charging with the base contact must move by the shortest route possible, must move forward in as straight a line as possible. A charging unit's position when the charge is... Okay. A charging unit's position when the charge is declared determines whether it charges into the front, flank or rear of the enemy unit. A unit's position in relation to its potential charge target is determined when the charge is declared. Yeah. Here we go. If it is still unclear, so I mean the rules are the same as they always were. In fact, they've added this paragraph, which I think is brilliant. So if it's unclear, so like if there's any dispute whatsoever, you're charging into the unit that gives you the least advantage. So the charging unit goes into the arc that gives it the least advantage. So when we look back at this,
just like that.
that's not what the rules say. because I think if you draw a line here, it goes kind of like over there. Like maybe comes in a little bit and cuts this model's base in half. I don't know. They're not on proper bases, although they look about the right. They look about the right width. It's just this front, which is so. It's probably the front of its base is probably there. I'm pretty certain that's the side arc. But even so, if it's disputed, it should be side arc. So. It does not do this wheel. You determine what arc it's in at the start when the charge is declared, and then you move in. There was another one later on. To be fair to Steve, like, I mean, I don't think I'm being unfair at all. It's a complicated game. We're all still learning it. We're going to be making lots of mistakes. You know, when I start doing battle reports, I'm sure you're going to see me making lots of mistakes.
The timing.
One of the things about Steve, though, is he talks far too quickly for me, because I quite often think, what is he on about now? So what he's going to do in a minute is he's going to try and charge these 3 units into the keeper. Now, the keeper's not on a square base. If it were me, I'd have just cut out a bit of cardboard or got a bit of plastic or just something to square it off. Because, you know, this is a game about square bases, right? This is not, you know, that's not amazingly helpful. Or put it on a movement train, cut it down, or just anything really, but or get like the proper base it should be on, which I think is this one, and just slot it underneath so you know what facing you are. So he's going to charge this unit, this unit, and this unit. Now I think from the facing of the model, the front of the model is probably sort of there, so this unit's in the side, these 2 units are in the front.
Mitch, I choose to honorably duel you with my giant.
Buddy, send everyone in. I can take.
And then he decides to
them all.
Now, what actually happens is he realises that this unit wiped out a unit over here earlier. So basically what happened is that massive block of demonettes took a leadership test and rolled a 12, which means after a combat, which means that the whole unit just goes pop. So because these and these were frenzied, they both had to overrun. So that should be over there somewhere, and these should be over here somewhere. But you know, he sorts that out eventually. But that's not what happens, because as you can see, what he's done is he's put the giant into the flank, and he's put this unit into the front, and rightly these are also in the flank. Now, actually, he wouldn't have been able to.
My giant.
Buddy, send everyone in. I can take them all.
Move your hand. There you go. Right. So he wouldn't, because if this base was like facing that way, right, the giant can come here, so he can put it corner to corner. This unit then also comes corner to corner, but it's like 6 inches wide, so it goes out to here. So the Minotaurs then have to sort of slot in there, but they can't end up on top of their other models, nor can you move this unit or kind of. Now, I don't know. I think you can actually. Can you nudge it out of the way? You could, I suppose, in that circumstance, like put the corner of the Minotaurs. So he could, in that circumstance, like put the corner, if he can get it to fit, put the corner of the Minotaurs like there, and then have the unit kind of angling out like in that direction, maybe. Yeah, I mean, if you can sort of touch it with the corner of the unit and stop it from overlapping other units, then you should do that. Then this essentially makes a disordered charge. And also only one model's in base-to-base contact, so you would only get 2 supporting attacks and 1 Minotaur. So, and you've made a disordered charge, so you don't get your initiative bonus. So, like, I mean, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really have bothered putting the Minotaurs into there, to be honest, personally, like, he wants him to charge everything in, but I think the Gargan alone would do, and then the rest of the, then you can leave these 2 units to one side, because Gargants are freaking nasty.
I'm a keeper of secrets.
Mitch. Yep, sure does.
So anyway, then he does this thing where he issues a challenge and then forgets that he's issued a challenge, because he's issued a challenge, which so Steve's issued a challenge. The demon player can't refuse a challenge, but he seems to be issuing a challenge with a Gargan and with a giant, and the giant's not a character, so I don't think it can issue a challenge. Where's challenges? Challenges. A player must nominate an eligible character or champion. So it doesn't say monster, it says character or champion. Where's evils? There's evils. Let's open that. So is a chaos... Oh, there's Beastmen. Is a chaos giant a character? No. So the chaos giant cannot issue challenges.
Can I just thematically turn to fight him right now?
But like,
here's a duel of fates right here.
Yeah, there you go.
Lloyd Knight's gonna get you.
But then if these two, so let's say this wasn't a giant and it was something that was a character. If these two are in a challenge, the rest of it can't fight. So actually, the Slaanesh player, if Steve's not issuing a challenge, definitely should be, because there's quite a lot of high wound stuff in these units. But if you think about it, right, even if this were the situation and the keeper had issued a challenge to the champion, right, the keeper's definitely going to kill it and do 5 overkill. So he's got a combat res of 6 already, right? So he's got 6 less 2 for ranks, that's 4, banner 3, battle standard bearer 2, flank 1, closed order, drawing level, closed order, lost by 1. So the keeper then only loses by 1, so he's not going to lose a wound, and then he's going to like pop back 2 inches, and the Minotaurs probably get fewer attacks next time round. And then the keeper issues another challenge next turn and then gets something with more wounds and then smashes that as well, gets a higher combat res, and then probably even wins. So like, the keeper really wants to be issuing challenges because it stops the other units from being able to attack him.
Alright, well, why don't you roll your...
Like, again, like it says in the rules... While the challenge is ongoing, other models engaged in the same combat cannot direct their attacks against either of the dueling monsters. So, either of the dueling models, sorry, I think I just said monsters. So that's challenges. Like, they're brilliant for protecting your big monsters.
Shield spell.
Yeah, I might as well.
You have,
right?
what's that spell called? Spectral Doppelganger? There's no initiative checks. He just slams his forehead into you. Okay. You take D3 plus 1 wounds.
Oh, then it helps because Steve rolled a 1 on the giant. So the giant's got like this. So instead of attacking normally it's got like, idiot. Sorry, that's wrong. It doesn't have any normally. It has one of these. So it can either do a giant attack or a pick-up hand. And pick-up hand is like, your opponent takes an initiative check, and if they fail, the model is just dead. Like, immediately removed from players as a casualty. No saves, just a single model belonging to the target unit is just dead. So, but that's only regular or heavy infantry, so cavalry you can't pick up hand with, alright? If he doesn't do that, he does one of these attacks. So headbutt is basically D3 plus 1 wounds. Ward saves can be attempted, no armor or regen. Or he puts the blast template, and on the enemy unit, who it can hit anybody, and it's strength 6 AP 2, so that's pretty nasty. Or he can do a mighty swing, which is d6 plus 1 attacks at strength 7 AP 2. So he's got to then hit because he's weapon skill 3. Or he can thump with a club, which is hits a single model with strength 10 AP 4, multiple wounds d6, so he just squashes one thing. Or he jumps up and down, doing d6 plus 1 hits, auto hits, strength 6, no armor saves apart from ward and regen. So those attacks are all great. He's rolled Headbutt, which is probably the one that's the most effective against the keeper because it just auto wounds.
What?
You take 3. You are allowed your ward saves.
Oh, great. Thanks, Steve. Wow, I failed all of them.
You're down to 2.
He said you are allowed ward saves. Yeah, demon saves are all regeneration saves. I'm not sure whether he's put a ward save on the demon as well, but I'm pretty certain that demons... Where are they? I'm pretty certain that demon saves are all regens. Let's have a quick look. Keeper of Secrets. No, he hasn't got a ward save. I was just checking there. The ward save is in like special or no. What does Slaanesh do? Yeah, they've got a maximum. So they increase their maximum possible charge by 1, and get +1 to charges, which is, I think, amazing. Anyway. Oh no, it is a 5 at ward, sorry. I thought it was a regen. No, it's a 5 at ward save. Okay, demons have a ward save. That's pretty good, actually.
That's it, he's done. Oh, we both have stomps.
Yeah.
We can't thunder...
And then they get confused about stomp and thunder stomp. I'll just make it really simple. A stomp you can do on any model. It's initiative 1. Any unit, sorry. A thunder stomp... is where a monster that has the thunder stomp keyword can stomp a unit of essentially non-monstrous things, and if they do so, they get AP 2. So thunder stomp is like it's a better stomp, but it's not. Sorry, that's wrong. It's an upgrade to stomp, as it were. So this like enhances your stomp, so it doesn't change the. So behemoths, all behemoths have this. They have thunder stomp, so AP 2, but cannot be used against another monster. So you don't get AP 2 against another monster. Now, monstrous infantry aren't monsters. So monstrous infantry aren't monstrous creatures. Okay. Some monstrous creatures are monstrous. They're basically mounts. Big mounts for like a flame spire phoenix. I don't think it's a behemoth. It's just a monster, I think. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So actually, is a Minotaur? It's a good question. I love the fact they've done Orcs and Goblins first. It's really nice. Because Orcs and Goblins are the coolest. Definitely. I need to get some. That's the problem. I've never really been asked to paint an army, despite the fact that they're the easiest army to... Oh yeah, I said in another comment somewhere that hell cannons do d6 damage in the hole. They don't, it's d3. It's rubbish. I don't know why anybody take a hell cannon. I'm looking at... don't get distracted. Look at Manticore. So that's a... Oh, so it's not a behemoth. So it doesn't get a thunder stomp. Everything else is the same though. So the difference between a behemoth and like a monstrous, what is it called? Monstrous creature. So monstrous infantry and monstrous cavalry are not monstrous creatures. Monstrous creatures are a separate thing. Where's monstrous creature? Monstrous infantry. Yeah. That's it. They've just got a higher level of unit strength, lower number of ranks. So that's fine. Yeah, I'm pretty... Anyway, so, yeah, that's... there's a lot of little things, a lot of, like an accumulation of little things.
All right, so the rule
sort
here
of
is
slightly wrong
stomp
here, but it's a cool scenario, and
is a thing.
The giant ends up stomping the keeper to death, which is hilarious. And the demon player, I think he's a bit kind of... He says he's had fun. I mean, it looks like he has, to be fair. It's just, I think he massively overestimated how effective that massive block of demonettes was going to be. But it looks like he's been like a demonette player for like many years, especially like Juan Diaz demonettes. I forget when they stopped making them. They were like arguably the best models that Games Workshop like ever made. And my God, if they get them out of the factory and, you know, sort out their molds, Games Workshop would make bank just on them alone. Like, they're insane. They're so good. You can get them as a look. I'll just this is a total aside and not anything to do with tactics, but just for anybody who, you know, who 190 quid for 10, and they'll sell like 150 quid for 10 of them. Like, they will sell. But I mean, that's the old box art. That, just look at that, so pretty. Like, they're just so weird, and, you know, exactly what I have in my mind. That's not that. That's something else. Where's he did some Seekers as well. Is that... No, that's the new ones, isn't it? Juan Diaz Demonette Seekers. I mean, people thought they were a bit... I mean, look at those. They're just so lithe and, like, just... Oh, I love those models. I think they're great. Yeah, that was the box art. That's what they look like on the box. Yeah, fantastic. I had loads of them. As every good teenage boy should. I don't like the... I mean, I know the new Demonettes look a bit more like the original art from, like, the 80s. But, like, you know, not everything from the 80s was brilliant, right? So yeah, so that's my sort of little tactical review of this battle report. I mean, go check out the video. It's Mountain Miniatures. It's a really good... What the bloody hell was his name? Oh, he's not written it in here either. He's got... Is that public? It's members only. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Right. I'm not going to go through anything that's behind a paywall. On this channel, because obviously it's behind a paywall, and that's not fair for me to, like, essentially through some fair usage nonsense exemption get stuff from behind a paywall. The reason I go through, like, army lists and stuff like that is because basically other people have already done it, so I'm not really... Other people have broken through the paywall, so, you know, it's... I'm not the person that instigated that. Was there anything else? I'm just having a quick flick through. I'm sure there was something else that I missed, but I think, you know, like in the other battle reports that I've looked at, the mistakes were made pretty early on. Like, I don't think getting out of shape with the positioning of. In fact, actually looking at it, I don't think he is out of position with these. But I think what he then did was his main mistake was like, what the bloody hell is it? He had the Beastman player like bang to rights at one bit. Like I thought he was just about to do it. Where the hell is it? Yeah, here we go. So what he was going to do was charge these into these, and so in one world the charge reaction is flee. In another world, they fail their terror test and have to flee. Or they could stand. He charges in, smashes them to smithereens, like probably kills half the unit. The rest run. They then have to run like through this unit of demonettes, which means most of them will also flee, and then he can pursue into the back of the Minotaurs, which stops him from getting that's not a very good view, but that stops. That's an even better view, isn't it? Because then he would be sort of here, and that means the Gargant, the giant, possibly can't see him, especially if he's like clever and like gets it so his charge puts the base here, so the giant. Oh no, the giant's a behemoth, so it can see over enemy units, over its own units. So the giant can possibly get in. But this is, the same turn that he's then charged these Minotaurs in the rear, probably kills a few of them, does plenty of wounds to them because they've got no armour. Yeah, they're high toughness, but they've got no armour. These are then dead, and then, so then the brick kind of works at that stage. But he's got to clear the flanks of the brick so that it gets its rank bonuses. Like it's just it's. I think that was his main mistake. Really, was not making the big brick more secure, because like that's so many points. Like that is so many points. Like 80 of them. They're like 11 each or something. So that's like 1,000 points. Half his army is in that unit, and he doesn't look after it. Really, which. I think he realises that mistake at the end. I think in like the wrap up at the end, he says he probably shouldn't have been so aggressive with them, and he thinks he loaded them out wrong. He took the wrong artifacts and the wrong items, which arguably he didn't. It's just the items that he took didn't suit this matchup. But like, actually, if he was going to a tournament with this list, I'd be worried about it, because his loadout would have, really cause problems for my warriors of chaos. So that this is a good list. But anyway, I really enjoy this battle report. Again, go watch it. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and catch you around.